this is a handful of players. You know, that's all. That's all it is.
So you're posing as a Laker fan to make a point right now.
Always been a Laker fan, man. Since I mean, look at this. Look at this jersey. That's Adidas right there, not Nike.
Bro, this is the dumbest troll. I know you're a Laker fan.
Yo. I'm watching a podcast right now. That's why I got a thing on the side.
We here to have this conversation, Los. Let's not change the debate now. Come on, Los.
And now I don't even know what we're debating, because now you completely I don't know what the fuck you're saying.
So we're here right now to talk about what everybody wants us to talk about. What do you think people want us to talk about?
Fuck.
Let's discuss why Michael Jordan is still the greatest of all time. Let's talk about it, Los. Let's talk about that. Let's
before we say that, can you take off the Laker gear? Because come on.
I'm a Laker fan. Plus, I ain't get my haircut in a second, so I'm glad people see my hairline. That's funny. Yo, Los.
Nah, see, I thought you were gonna take it serious, and now you're pretending to be a Laker fan.
I've been a Lakers fan, Los. If anyone who knows me, they know me. I've been a Lakers fan.
Bro, what?
I'm just gonna.
That's off. Come on, stop playing.
Alright, so yeah, people want okay, not just people, but you've been trying to get this Jordan LeBron debate, and I want to know why do you want to defend Jordan this badly?
I want to defend the truth. That's what all I care about is the truth.
Oh, what?
That's it. When people lie about LeBron, if you see me on Twitter, I'm pretty active because I don't know how all of a sudden this team is now a super team and LeBron had all this help. So no, like all that stuff, I defend the truth. That's it, Los. That's all I do.
Okay, so you defend the truth. Okay, so you believe, because I'm assuming that how long have you been watching basketball? How old are you?
I've been watching basketball. I can't tell my age because that's on the low. But I've been watching basketball for it's been north of 15 years at this point.
15 years. Okay. So you didn't
Let's
watch
go.
Jordan play?
No.
Okay. So how can you confidently say Jordan is better than LeBron, a person who you said you've been watching for 15 years? You've witnessed all the bullshit, all the good shit, everything with LeBron. And in his 17 years in a league, he's got maybe one thing on his resume with the Mavs, which is still a little questionable to me, but I'll give you that. The Mavs thing, whatever. So how do you say, oh no, Jordan is just, he's the GOAT, he's the best, whatever. Before I say anything, I want to hear your take on that.
Let's hear it.
Because I haven't seen him, is that what you're insinuating? Is that what the...
I'm asking how you're so sure.
Why is this dude fouling, bro?
Seasons worth of game film and all this shit. Like, how do you know?
Yeah, I watch plenty of footage. Definitely reread a couple articles, kind of figure out what the narrative was back then. Looked at the teammates, understand what they were producing. But I've definitely watched a bunch of games, especially when the NBA was at a break. I definitely watched. I watched all the finals that Jordan has been in. I would say about 80% of his playoff games.
How do you watch these games?
You on YouTube? They're on YouTube.
Like the full every game, like game 1, 2, 3 of every series, like it's all there.
Let's go, Carlos.
I think the '92 series there's some games missing, but I think outside of that final series, I think you can go back and watch every single last game on YouTube for every.
Okay. Yeah,
fuck.
But no, because I've done that, I've watched the games, I've read articles, I've understood what exactly was going on at that moment in NBA history, and also just understanding who his teammates were, the obstacles, everything that may have occurred, and then of course what we just witnessed the break with the Last Dance documentary and giving me a little bit more insight. That's how I can feel confident.
Good block. Oh my god.
The greatest of all time.
So, okay. So that's just it. Like he's the best. Anyone else? No one can make an argument or like a
Kelly.
any type of argument for someone No one can say LeBron is. No one can say like Kareem. No one can say Bill Russell. Like for you, it's just 100% confident. Jordan is just the GOAT, and no one's gonna take that.
Well, I said this last time. I don't know why you pegged me to be this massive hater. I said this last time. I don't think that the conversation for LeBron is done, especially when he continues to play at the level he's playing right now. Just won another championship, and I feel like if anything, this championship in particular really cemented why LeBron should be in that conversation for everyone else. However, with everyone else, it's, as you go further back into the history, it's harder to watch some of the footage, so you're just going off of hearsay and also kind of looking at stats to try to figure out what you gather. But even then, it still pretty confidently is Michael Jordan over everyone else. But again, LeBron, I said this last time, LeBron is still in the league, still doing his thing, which is amazing, doing it for 17 years. And because of that, it still leaves it up for debate. But as of right now, even with this championship, I would still have Jordan over LeBron.
So, all right, so
Damn.
you guys might think I'm gonna sit here and be like, oh no, listen, it's LeBron because this is his. I'm gonna just bring up something. Do you watch football?
A little bit.
Okay, so this is it's kind of scary how similar this is, but let's talk about so Jordan has 6 rings. So do you know how many rings Tom Brady has?
Was it 5?
I'm pretty sure it's 6. I don't know. Chat, am I dumb? Like, is it 5 or 6? 6, right?
Okay, 6.
Alright, 6. It's 6. Now I want to put it this way, bro. From what I've done, from my research that I've done on the history of the game, and especially Jordan, because I don't just blindly say, oh, LeBron's better than Jordan. I don't just out of nowhere say that shit. There's a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of shit, and a lot of people say context. I feel like these 6 rings that Jordan has, I think a lot of it has to do with a system. And I think it's the same way with Tom Brady, how it's a system. Amazing, like, coaching, players around him at all times, and like an actual system in place on how to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron, and no one can deny this about LeBron. LeBron was playing on teams with coaches that have never done shit, with like fucking players that have never done shit, random ass like scrubs. LeBron was never put into a situation with like, oh,
Who the hell is that standing in the fucking?
Popovich, fucking Hall of Fame coach, fucking Hall of Fame players, learns in the system how to play the game, all this shit. So I feel like when we talk about Jordan's 6 rings, we can talk. I think it's not a crazy thing to talk about it in the same way that we talk about Tom Brady's 6 rings.
Mm-hmm.
Because nobody is saying that Tom Brady's the greatest football player to ever live. If some people are saying that, the only ones saying that are basing it off of the team accomplishments, which are the rings. If you just took Jordan by himself, if you took LeBron by himself, and we're just looking at like their numbers, like just what they do in the game, not the team accomplishments, I don't see how any person can sit there, look at these stats, and go, oh no.
I mean, sure, Jordan averaged more points, but LeBron's a better, way better overall player, like rebounding, assists, everything. Damn. Okay, love.
No, dude, Jordan's he's the best. Like, that's it. There's no discussion at all.
Blocking.
When LeBron statistically, and he's
Dude, why is that dude still standing there?
And whatever. Or if I don't know if he already did or whatever. But, dude, LeBron statistically is a better player than Jordan. He's bigger, he's stronger, he's faster, he can guard more positions, he can just do more than Jordan. Was Jordan drafted into a better situation? Yeah, he was. So you can say Jordan's more lucky than LeBron, he's luckier than LeBron. And you could say Kawhi's luckier than LeBron. You could say Tom Brady's luckier than LeBron. But to say he's better than LeBron, I have a really hard time doing that based off of just, oh, he has 6 rings. Like, oh, his team was the best 6 times. Like, I just have a hard time agreeing with that. That's why I have this. That's what. What the fuck was that? Fuck, I feel like I was saying something and then Jake interrupted me, but.
I'm assuming the premise of what you were saying is, statistically speaking, LeBron is just better player, and situation that Jordan was drafted into put him in a better situation to win championships. I'm assuming that was.
Yeah, and my whole point was it's not just Jordan. It's there's other. I would say that the premise of what I was saying to finish it off was that all these other players, most players are more lucky than LeBron. Like, I'll put it like that. LeBron has created his own luck in deciding to change and go to Miami, going back to Cleveland, getting them to trade for Love and all that. Like, he's made his own luck because him being on teams and where he's drafted and that shit did not work out at all. That shit did not fucking work out at all. And it's I don't think it's LeBron's fault because, like I said, he's been putting up the numbers and he's put up great numbers. It's not his fault. But go ahead. That's what I was trying to say. Is that all these people, these people are lucky as fuck, and LeBron is really unlucky.
I would argue that Jordan isn't as lucky as what you're trying to make it out to be, because Jordan was drafted to an organization that didn't have any culture or any winning history at all. The Bulls were an abysmal franchise. There's a reason why they were drafting with that high of a lottery pick. They were a terrible team. Even the players when Jordan got there were not like there weren't anyone on the team that was of substance, and that's another reason why during his sophomore season when he got hurt, when Jordan was out, they still weren't winning any games. So I completely disagree on that.
No, but I know what you're saying is true, right? But we know what happened with Jordan's career, so we already know what happened. We know that eventually it turned into fucking Scottie Pippen, fucking being the best team in the league with an amazing coach. We already know what happened. So it's like, he could have been. Okay, go ahead.
I think a lot of that still has to do with LeBron. I mean, it's something to do with Jordan. And it's similar thing with LeBron. Like, as great as the situation he was in with Miami and Cleveland and now with the Lakers, everything still is because of how great LeBron is as a player. Same thing with Jordan. It doesn't matter how great of a player Pippen and how great of a coach Phil Jackson were. They weren't going to win anything unless they had someone like Jordan around them. And so even though you're right, Jordan was drafted on a team that at the moment when he was drafted was god-awful and terrible, and it took a while for them to piece things together. When they actually got things together, it worked out in their favor. But to claim that he's lucky, I know that's like, this also...
There's luck behind it.
This is true, but I think this is the part that I think you and many other people don't understand, and this associated with what's happening right now in the league in contrast to what happened several years ago. To understand the privilege that Jordan had, you also have to understand the privilege that LeBron has right now. Not only with his understanding of how to take care of his body, but also LeBron is in a situation right now in an era where free agency exists. You can demand trades. You can go on teams. You can basically pick whatever team you want to do. Back then, that did not exist. Players were signing contracts that were like 10 years long. That was the standard. You were stuck on an organization for practically your entire career. Matt Johnson signed a 25-year deal. Like, stuff like that would not happen.
So if LeBron had to go by those rules, then we could agree that he might not have any ring. He might have one ring. I don't know. If he just stayed on the Cavs, God knows what the fuck could have happened, bro.
I'm not saying he should have done that. I'm okay with LeBron leaving the Cavs. I made a whole video about how Dan Gilbert is one of the worst owners. I feel like they completely wasted his like Anthony Davis. The Pelicans just wasted the first 7 years of an all-time great player's career. That is factually correct. But what I'm saying is, to understand the privilege that someone has, you also
Bro.
have to acknowledge that having the ability to be a free agent, having the ability to have a conversation between other teammates and other teams, having an ability to sign contracts all at the same time, and go to a franchise at the same time to form a super team, that is a privilege that no other era has
Okay, well,
in history.
but hold on. I'm not trying to like. Okay, let's not say that no one switched teams, dude. Many people switched teams. People got traded. People. What about Rodman? Didn't he play against Rodman? Then Rodman joined him, and
But Rodman got traded because they didn't want him anymore. If you were a valuable asset in the 80s and 90s, they weren't only trading you unless you just completely held out and forced a trade. That's the only way they were trading you. Clyde Drexler didn't get traded until all the way 95, and he was complaining about the Portland Trailblazers back in 93. Same thing with Charles Barkley. So
I know, but
the
I'm
only
saying
way
the
you wanted to
point.
trade
I'm
like
just saying the point is that we're not gonna act like no one switched teams. No one. There were free agents. People got traded. There was shit happened like that.
No, Los. The concept of a free agent only it didn't start to exist until the mid '90s. They're like literally players who signed contracts.
And Jordan played on another team too. So like, what are we talking about?
He played on another team when he retired. The concept of being a free agent didn't exist until the mid '90s. Players were practically restricted free agents for their entire careers. However, again, I agree with you that Jordan was in a very privileged situation where he was privileged with a great coach. He was privileged with a great running mate, Scottie Pippen, privileged with a system. I'm not denying that.
Hold on, one second.
Should I get the Phoenix jersey? If he gets on stream, I'm getting the Hebrew.
Damn. My bad, dude. Jake kept trying to say something. Whatever. Okay. That's all fine. That's all fine.
Yeah.
That really doesn't touch on what I said though about being lucky, because you're like, oh no, well LeBron was lucky in his own way. He could leave the team if he wanted. Like, okay, but that makes the point even crazier than if that wasn't the case. LeBron would have had to stay in the Cavs, and then he would have fucking nothing. Like, bro, like it goes both ways. Like, it's like, oh, okay, Jordan had to stay in the team, and guess what? He got fucking Hall of Fame teammates, Hall of Fame coach, and they were the best team in the fucking league for years.
No, but what I'm saying is LeBron he has the privilege to put himself in those situations. That's all I'm saying. LeBron can leave the Cavaliers, and nobody should really even hold what happened in those years with Cleveland, his first 7 years against LeBron, because that's dumb as hell. I hate when people sit there and tell me about how 2007 he lost. That's so. But he could have changed his own fortune. That's something that a lot of other players in previous eras didn't have. That's my point I'm making. So even though he started his career without it, he still after a 7-year period, he still went to a great organization in Miami. He still played with Hall of Fame players in Miami. He still played with another Hall of Fame coach in Eric Spoelstra.
But hold on a second. Eric Spoelstra was not a Hall of Fame coach. Like, first of all, the Heat that he went to. Like,
say what you about to say about Eric Spoelstra. Say it.
No. Hold on. That's not what I'm gonna say. That's not what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say this because I'm not gonna disrespect Spoelstra. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say he did not just join a fucking team like KD or like some shit like, oh, let's just join a fucking super team. Fucking no, he joined a team and they had to start from the fucking bottom. Like, they fucking had D Wade. That was there, but that was not a fucking championship fucking caliber team. All right, let's just get right back.
So when we were talking about
no, hold on. Before you say that, I'm gonna say this.
Yeah.
You want me to agree with the whole free agent privilege shit? Then please, I want to hear you agree with how fucking lucky Jordan wound up. Please, I want to hear that, bro. Because if you don't think that's lucky,
I said that he was lucky and he's been privileged to play with Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, been coached by Phil Jackson, and all that stuff. I'm not in denial about that. I'm just putting things.
Okay, so so just to make it clear, we're both in agreement that each player is lucky in their own way. It's just the fact that Jordan's luck resulted in more rings. I mean, LeBron's career's not over, but I mean, bro.
But even in that sense, and it's the reason why so many people would have LeBron under Jordan is that all what happened in the first 7 years of LeBron's career, in any rational person's mind, is acceptable because it's not like he had the adequate help around him to win. But when you then leave and you take your own career in your own hands, which rightfully so, and then you celebrate the decision that you signed with the Miami Heat, and you claim you're going to win 7 championships.
Dude, now you're getting into semantics. No, you're just talking about outside factors.
Can I get to my point? Can I get to my point?
I know what you're saying.
Can I get to my point? Can I get to my point? Can I get to my point?
Go ahead.
When you do all of those things, and then you get to the finals and you do not perform, that thus proves the point that it's more than just he's bigger, he's taller, he's stronger, look at the numbers he posts up. Because even when he's bigger and stronger, I think your stream just crashed again.
Nah, no way. There's no way. Wait, can you hear me good? You can't hear me?
You went out for a second, but now I can hear you. I can hear you now.
Bro, I don't know if you know shit about internet shit. Why would this even happen?
I don't know. I have no. What do you have?
I have Verizon. But the thing is, it's like, dude, I'm on the internet. I'm still talking to you. My chat's still moving.
That is true.
But my stream is like shutting off. Like, I don't know if it's a Twitch server. I literally don't know what the fuck this is. I can't figure this out. Chat, are we back? Oh, we're back. Okay, okay. That didn't crash.
Okay. Alright, so damn, I'm making good points. So, look, all I'm saying is, when the point I'm making, you know what I'm about to make.
Damn.
When you make a decision, when you have your own future in your hand, your own career in your hands, and you make the decision to go to Miami, and you do all those things, it shows and it proves that it's more than just he's bigger, stronger, faster, whatever you want to say, the metrics, the numbers. It's more than just that, because if it was that simple, then he would have just won a championship in 2011. And I think that's the point that so many people, I think many people are trying to convey that. They just do a terrible job with it on Twitter.
So basically you're saying, you're like, okay, LeBron, you want to take this in your own hands. Like, you want to take your career in your own hands. So let's go ahead, bro. Go do it. Like, let's see what happens. And then he loses, and you're like, see, told you, bro. Like, it's almost kind of like a got you type shit. It's like,
it wouldn't be a got you if he played right. What? He's not a.
So he lost, and no. So if he won, then what? Then what's the excuse then? There's gonna be an excuse.
There's not an excuse. That's it. Like, that's not for me at least. I can't speak on everybody on Twitter. For me, it's not an excuse because I understand that you just won a championship on your own. I understand that every other all-time great player had another all-time great player beside them and another all-time great coach on the bench and an all-time great front office. I understand those things. So I'm not holding against what happened in 2007. I'm not holding against what happened in 2015. Like, because there's several losses.
Because if it was all about like to be better than Jordan, you gotta like go undefeated in the finals, then dude, and after 07, it would have been over for him.
But those arguments are from ignorant people.
But then why does the loss in 2011 mean so much? Like,
because that's an opportunity that you can win. It's a legitimate opportunity. It's not like you were an underdog. It's not like the odds were against you. You had a legitimate opportunity to win.
I only missed 1-3.
Even if you want to inflict the Dallas Mavericks, at worst, they were even with the Miami Heat that year. And then not only do you lose, but you
I was consistent as hell.
8 points for a game, scoring 0 points in the fourth quarter. And for someone who's bigger, taller, stronger, like you say, that's your word.
This is literally one series. We're not gonna get into all of Jordan's failures before this shit. I'm not even gonna touch on that.
But the same way I'm not touching on LeBron's failures before that because I can.
No. Because this is why. Because let me get to this before I go into that. So if we can agree, that was a winnable championship. The Mavs is a winnable championship, right? Yeah. I think the same people would say that Warriors team was supposed to beat the Cavs, and that was not a winnable championship when they played the Warriors, and they wound up winning. So I'm pretty sure something like that could make up for, oh, okay, like he lost in 6 against the Mavs instead of winning. Okay, so why is it this giant gap where it's like, no, nothing you can ever do will like be on Jordan's level?
Again, you're referencing me in the same class as ignorant people because I've never said it was a massive gap, and I agree with you. If anything, that should count. What happened in 2016 should counterbalance what happened in 2011. But that still means that if he wants to be greater than him, then he would have to do more than him. That doesn't like you. If let's hypothetically speaking, we're just keeping count. If 2011 is a minus or a takeaway from LeBron, if that's a -1, and then even if you want to say 2016 is +2, that still leaves you with 1. You're basically knocking off even. You're trying to not erase, but you're trying to.
Nah, bro, that championship against the best team of all time, 73-9, bro. I'm gonna say that's worth more than 2, bro. And guess what?
I would argue that what happened in 2011 was more than -1.
Oh, really? Oh, so okay. Yeah. So you were just wearing a Kobe jersey. What do you think about Kobe getting swept by that team, though?
Again,
What is this?
I'm not one of the people like you.
I want you to
belittle finals competition.
No, I want you to subtract. No. Kobe. I want you to subtract multiple from Kobe, bro. Because you want to subtract multiple from LeBron. Subtract Kobe.
And guess what, Los? That's on Kobe's resume too. That's why he's not in the conversation that we're having right now. That's part of the.
I don't think so. I don't think people even talk about that. I don't think people even bring that up.
Well, mainly because there's so many other things to talk about Kobe before we even get to that point. But that is part of the conversation. But you're right. Hey, you're right, Los. You're right. That team swept a back-to-back defending champion Los Angeles Lakers team. You know who else swept? You know who else swept back-to-back defending champions? You know what's up there? You know what's that?
Are you gonna say Jordan swept what? The Pistons or some shit?
No, I don't have to say that. The '96 Seattle SuperSonics did the same thing. They swept the Houston Rockets, who were back-to-back defending champions. And yet, for whatever reason, that team is not. If anybody brings up that team, then all of a sudden that's not a good team. But now you're trying to tell me.
I never said that. I never said that about the Sonics. I said I think the Jazz are overrated as fuck. And I think that Stockton and the other couple like white guards they had could not guard anybody in the league today. And I think that 90% of the starters in the league today. And that's who was guarding Jordan? Come on, bro. You know LeBron would eat them up. Come on, bro.
Stockton wasn't guarding Jordan, though.
He would switch on to Jordan, and that other dude, what was that guy's name? Havlicek?
Byron Russell was the primary defender on Jordan. What are we saying?
Dude, that's not true. That's not true. And how many times, first of all, I can pull up a picture right now. I'll Google Bulls, Jazz, Finals. There will be a dude guarding Jordan that looks like he should not even be in the same gym as Jordan, bro.
And let's use that same logic for LeBron. If I pull up a picture where JJ Barea is...
No, don't do that! Don't fucking bring up JJ fucking Barea!
Los, I'm asking a question. If I bring up that picture, does that mean
I thought we were having a civil thing here. That's something civil.
Listen, does that mean that JJ Barea is LeBron's primary defender because I pull up one picture?
Then why do LeBron haters say, oh my God, LeBron got shut down by JJ Barea and Jason Terry? Why do I have to hear this? Why do I have to hear this? Well, we know that those are not the primary defenders. We both know.
So who was? Sean Marion? Is that who it was?
Is Sean Marion 6'7" and a good defender?
I'm just asking you a question, Los.
I'm asking you a question. You're the expert.
You answer a question with another question?
I'm asking if he's good. You tell me.
At that stage of his career, I would still say he was good.
He's a good defender, and I think the team defense was good.
Agreed. I'm happy you admit that the team defense matters, not just one or two individual players. Similar to what happened in the '90s, it was team defense. Team defense didn't just start existing. It's always existed, Los.
It's existed on some teams. Not all teams have that. And I'd say.
Go ahead, go.
And I'd say this. I'm glad you can admit that too, because the people in the chat who just shit on LeBron, all they do is just say J.J. Bryant and Jason Terry shut down LeBron and held him to 8 points. Like, this is the shit that I see. This is the shit that's on Twitter under Bleacher Report tweets. This is the shit that's being spewed.
All that, again, I'm not here to try to add validity to, like, people trolling on Twitter, but this is the point I'm making, though. If your argument is when Jordan was being defended by the players in the 90s, that they weren't competent defenders because of their size and their body, and Jordan was just quicker, stronger than them, correct? I mean, is that somewhat of an argument?
Just how Bill Russell was fucking way better than everyone he played against. Shit just happens like that sometimes. I'm sure in fucking 20 years, there's gonna be fucking 9 Giannis's running around. Who the fuck knows? But I'm saying, obviously, there's a difference between Jordan and fucking Hornacek, obviously.
But just like how there's also players who are nowhere near closely built to LeBron. LeBron also has a physical advantage, Los.
Over KD, Kawhi, Kobe. Who else are we gonna say that he played against?
He's not bigger than Kawhi?
Bruh.
Is he not bigger than Kawhi, Los? Los, is he not taller and bigger than Kawhi?
Bro, aren't they not both listed as 6'8"? Am I missing something here? Am I missing something?
First of all, LeBron is 6'9".
Yeah, but I'm saying this is what they're listed as. We could just guess. Oh, KD's 7 foot. KD's listed as 6'9".
Los.
If any, Ed Johnson that list that LeBron played against. What?
Yeah, that's for the past 2 or 3 years, fine. But isn't LeBron bigger than Kawhi? That's
add Paul George to it when Paul George actually
is
in the
LeBron. Isn't LeBron bigger than Paul George?
Paul George, no, they're both 6'8".
We're not just talking about height, because if that was an argument, then apparently Jeff Hornacek can guard MJ, right? Because they're the same height, right?
Yeah, but if we're going on size, then LeBron got Jordan beat on size. We're going by size.
We're talking about their defenders. If your argument is Jordan was physically more dominant than the players he was going up against, that's why it was easier for him to dominate. Which again, I agree. But you also have to acknowledge that about LeBron, because he's more physically dominant than practically everybody who's ever defended him at any point in his career.
Okay.
That's simple.
Yeah, and who's played in a better era?
But then by that metric, then that means that everyone in today's league is just better than everybody else in prior eras.
Yeah, I think you take the last person on the bench on a shit team, you throw them in the 80s and the 90s. That's going to be a good player, bro.
So the second greatest player of all time is Kevin Durant?
What do you mean of all time?
By your logic, you tell me everybody in today's league is just better. So the second best player of all time, by your opinion, is Kevin Durant.
Hey, let me ask you something.
Okay, all right.
Let me ask you something. Let me ask you something.
All right,
if you take out of your head, if I could remove out of my head KD joining the Warriors, the most pussy shit ever, right? If I take that out of my head, hey, and I'm looking at 2 people. They're playing 1-on-1. I'm not saying this makes someone better playing 1-on-1, but I'm saying if I'm playing basketball and I'm choosing someone to play with, who am I picking? KD, who can fucking do everything, and he's 6'10", 6'11", 7 foot, or Jordan? Who am I picking? I'm picking KD.
So
I'm picking KD, and Jordan never played against anyone close to KD or LeBron.
So explain to me why KD struggles when in 2016 when he was up 3-1. Why couldn't he just?
Because he had Westbrook on his team. Okay. And Westbrook.
We can go any further.
Stop KD from winning that shit. But go ahead.
We can go any further. Why is it that LeBron, if you think it's just that simple because KD's just taller and he has more skill set, a better skill set when it comes to scoring, why is it that LeBron makes more buzzer beaters than KD? Why is it that he has better clutch numbers than KD? Why is it that
LeBron has been in situations, more situations than KD to even hit a buzzer beater. And second,
even the percentages.
KD,
the percentages says that LeBron is a better clutch performer than Kevin Durant.
Dude.
And there's no way you're gonna tell me that somehow LeBron his skill set offensively scoring wise is better than KD So again, it's more than just height and size.
I'm saying, how did you just change the subject to clutch shit? Because
no, I'm trying to prove the point is that if Kevin Durant, because of his height and size and his skill set, if it was that much of an advantage, then his numbers would blow out everybody when it comes to scoring in every situation. But the reality is, it doesn't.
Has he won the last 2 seasons he was played in?
What do you mean won? Won championships?
Yeah, kidding.
Well, I mean, he didn't win 2019, so no.
No, the last 2 seasons he played it. All right. Anyway, no, you're right because he got injured. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm saying this, bro. We're talking about Jordan. We know he's a great scorer. He's not a good 3-point shooter. KD can score just as good as Jordan, and he's a fucking 3-point shooter, and he's fucking taller, and he can fucking handle the ball.
Okay, so let's talk about somebody who didn't join the Warriors, right? So Steph Curry is a top 5 to 10 player of all time, correct?
No.
How?
Steph Curry's a 5. Dude.
No. I'm using your logic. Your logic.
That's not my logic. That's not my logic.
It is. You're saying that in today we're in a way better era, right? So by default, players in today's era is just better than what they were before, right? Right?
If you want to talk about point guards, I'm not going to talk about players. You want to talk about point guards? Curry is top 5 point guards of all time.
No, but by your logic, Los, if LeBron is already ahead of Jordan because he plays in an era where players are just better, so much so that you can take a garbage player in today's league and you'll be great in the previous eras. If you're claiming that, that means that you will also have to be claiming that other players in today's league are also top whatever all time. You would have to be admitting that.
You're putting words in my fucking mouth.
No, this is logic.
No, it's not the logic. My logic is this. You take the fucking worst player on a team today, okay? The worst player, you put him on a team in the 80s or 90s. That's going to be a good player. I never said he'd be an all-time fucking great. I never said anything like that.
I
said he'd be a great. No, you said great player. I never said that. You're just saying.
But again, you're missing my point.
Are you trying to say that the players when Jordan played were better or as good as today?
I'm not saying that either. What I'm saying is everything is still relative to where they play in. And if you're just using simple logic as today, if you play in today's game, you're by default better than what they were in prior years, and that's how I'm judging where I'm ranking players all time. That means by that logic, other players besides LeBron, other players in today's game, such as Kawhi, would be better all time as well. It can't just be LeBron.
Why would Kawhi be better than who all time? Jordan? Who's he better?
The most standard safety features in its class. The all-new, fiercely reimagined Nissan Rogue. New fresh snack, great freshness.
Dude, Lux is putting words in his mouth.
Long-lasting odor control.
Yes, everyone knows that the league today is way better than last time.
Is Kawhi, by the logic you're saying, Kawhi would have to be better than Larry Bird?
I'm taking Kawhi Leonard over Larry Bird.
Okay, so you got Kawhi top 10 all time.
No, I don't.
So is Larry Bird not top 10 all time?
No, he's not.
Oh, so let's hear your top 10. I want to hear your top. Let's hear it.
But the thing is, I don't have like a top 10 that's like, I have 2 top 10s. I have players, like an actual player. You ignore narratives and fucking what team they played for and fucking MVPs, whatever. Just players. And then I have like a legacy type top 10. Can you agree that those are not the same thing?
Okay, yeah. So what is your top 10 players list?
Before I say this, chat. I just looked at the chat. You guys are doing the exact shit that you do every time. It's annoying at this point. It's literally annoying. Anything I'm saying, you're just saying that it's just the dumbest thing ever. That's fine. You can keep going, chat. No, go ahead. Keep spamming. You can free the plebs too. Might as fucking well. Anyway, what I was gonna say is this. Before I say this, do you agree that that the top 10 list could be different if you don't involve championships or who was on what team and shit like that?
I mean, it can. Again, it can. But is that what you're saying? You're just talking about strictly players, like how they play, their talent levels. That was just.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, what do you
Okay,
want to
so
hear?
let's
You want to
hear.
hear that?
I want to hear that list. I
The
want to hear.
legacy
I want to. I want to hear that list.
If I'm ignoring everything, KD is 100%, 100%. He's top 5-10 all time.
Okay.
Do you agree? Like, do you think there's 10 players in the NBA that are better than Kevin Durant if we ignore him being a pussy and all this shit?
Jesus Christ. This is your list, Lou. So Kevin Durant, LeBron, right?
I have Kevin Durant.
Kawhi.
No, I never stop. I never said that. Stop.
Okay.
And this is, I'm just gonna say the list. Okay, LeBron, Jordan, Kobe, Magic, Kareem, Tim Duncan, Shaq, Durant. How was that? 9 or 8?
It's 8.
I'm probably forgetting some like fucking good ass people right now, but I'm like trying to go off the top of my head.
So Kawhi still wouldn't be in this?
No, Will.
Kawhi wouldn't be in that.
Throw Will in there. What?
Okay, so there's 9. Kawhi wouldn't be in that conversation?
No, I don't have Kawhi in a top 10 situation.
Okay.
I don't have Kawhi in a top 10 situation.
What about Shaq?
I didn't say Shaq? Oh, then Shaq. I thought I said Shaq.
Oh, Hakeem, my bad. What about Hakeem? I think you did say Shaq. Hakeem. Hakeem would have to be in.
Dude, again, with these lists, it's so hard. It's so hard for me to do a list and involve centers, and then I just feel like I don't know. Like, and tell me.
You just named Will and Tim Duncan.
I know.
And Kareem. What are we saying?
I know, because if I'm not naming bigs, then I would put Kawhi above Larry Bird. Like, I would do shit like that. But it's like I have to throw bigs in there, and I don't want to do that. But it's like they have to be counted in the fucking whatever.
So Hakeem would be in that top 10.
You said Hakeem or Kawhi? What did you say? He broke up.
No, Hakeem. He would have to be, right? I mean, he's definitely more talented than Shaq. He's more talented than Shaq.
No. Hold on, Kobe.
He's not more talented than Shaq?
Hold on a second. Who?
Hakeem.
I got Shaq over Hakeem, bro. What?
How is Shaq more talented than Hakeem?
He's better than Hakeem.
How?
We can go by just fucking matchup 1-on-1. We can go by championship rings. I mean,
this isn't legacy. This is talent, Los. This is your list. Talent.
Is that what you want? I don't know what you're saying.
This is what I'm asking you. Talent. Just talent.
Shaq, if we're just going off that dominant as fuck, 100% over Hakeem. 100%.
How would it be?
What is the confusion here? Well, because Hakeem can do an up and under? Like, Shaq can fucking dunk on your whole team. What are we talking about? And listen, if you
so let's use the same logic.
I'm gonna
let's use the same logic. Stop.
No. I'm gonna put Hakeem over Kawhi, so that'll top my 10.
No.
I'll feel good putting Hakeem over Kawhi. Go ahead.
Let's use the same logic you use for LeBron over Jordan for Hakeem over Shaq, because that would make the most sense.
Wait, huh? Did you just bait me into saying Hakeem over Shaq or some shit?
No. You're not saying. What I'm saying is it should be by your logic for why LeBron is over Jordan. It should be. For example, I mean, what other stat besides scoring does Shaq have over Hakeem?
Are you being serious?
Hakeem has more rebounds. Hakeem will get more blocks. Hakeem will get more steals. I mean, what are we saying? Okay. Even when we're talking,
so you're worried about me having Shaq at 7 and Hakeem at 9. Like, okay, switch them. If it makes you feel better, switch them up. Switch them up.
Look, what I'm trying to do is make sure you understand why your logic is flawed, because you're not using the same. You're not being consistent with other players.
I'm being consistent on. Okay, that's one example of Hakeem and Shaq. I personally.
Hakeem should be better than Magic. Hakeem should be better than Magic, right?
What?
This is talent. Hakeem, defensive player of the year. Magic never made an all-defensive team. Fucking is top 5 in
Wait a second. Wait a second. Hold on. I did not list them in order. Let's
So where's
pause this. I'm not saying order.
So, but you weren't even gonna put Hakeem in until I told you. So where's Hakeem at? Let me hear. Where's Hakeem at?
The reason I wasn't gonna put Hakeem is because we were debating Kawhi and Hakeem. Kawhi is an all-around player, who can do more than Hakeem.
So where do you have Hakeem?
And he's also domestic players and shit.
We're past that. Where do you put Hakeem? Off of talent alone.
Bro, this is annoying. Ten or 11. I have Hakeem 10 or 11.
Dude, he's not breaking like the top 8. He's not breaking. He's like 8, 9, or 10. He's like 8, 9, or 10 for me.
Doesn't make that much sense, Los.
I don't get how that doesn't make sense. He's a big.
Because Hakeem played defense. Did Magic ever defensive player of the year?
Magic defended a center and won the finals. Magic is a fucking point guard. Magic is a 6'9" point guard.
We're not talking about finals right now.
Oh no, but you want to bring up defensive player of the year. You want to bring up defensive player of the years though.
We're talking about talent, individuals.
But you're bringing up awards. You're bringing up first team.
Individuals.
You're bringing up first team. You're bringing up defensive player. I brought up a situation where fucking he guarded a center and he's also a point guard and they also fucking won. So like, explain to me how that's not overall talent. Dude, Magic is top 5. Legacy or just players, Magic is top 5, bro. And if you shoot, dude, argument for him being number 1. But go ahead.
Hakeem is top 15 in points all time. Hakeem is top 15 in rebounds all time. Hakeem is top 10 in steals all time. Hakeem is number 1 in blocks all time. That is 4 out of the 5 major statistical categories where Hakeem Olajuwon is top 15 all time. Bro.
Top 15.
All time. In 4 out of the 5 major statistical categories. Name me another player who did that.
Where's LeBron at on that list?
I highly doubt LeBron is top 15 in rebound. And
you don't think LeBron's top 15 in all those categories you listed?
In rebounds, not the rebounds that he doesn't even have more rebounds than Dwight, and Dwight just cracked the top 15.
So what is he, 16, 17?
He's 48.
Wait, Dwight is 15 and LeBron. Wait, what?
LeBron in rebounds. LeBron is 48 all time in regular season rebounds. Dwight is 14.
Oh, then why did you make it seem like he was like neck and neck? Okay, anyway. That was a little trickery, but it's fine. I'm gonna say
no. My point is the same point that you try to make with LeBron, which is if you're gonna use stats, right, to prove the point to who's a better player, by that same logic, Lou, by default, Hakeem should be at bare minimum. Max. No, Max.
Dogs don't know what's good for them. Luckily, you do. Greeny,
I need to take the damn dog out, bro. Out this
top
game.
5 in the talent category. Correct?
So you want to use stats then?
No, I'm using your logic.
Okay, so I just asked you a question about LeBron being top 15. What is LeBron in assists, points, all this shit? And also, hey, how about we talk about playoff points, assists, rebounds, all shit? Because last time I checked, LeBron's fucking what? Top 2, top 3 in every single category?
That's fine.
And
that's
number 1 in most of the categories.
That's why he's number 1 in your book, Los. And if you want to use that makes sense.
Why couldn't Hakeem do this in the playoffs?
Who said he didn't? I'm about to look at the numbers right now. Who said he didn't?
What did he do in the playoffs?
Whoa, calm down, Los.
I want to know what he did. Oh, okay, what did he do?
Hold on now. So if I look at these numbers and they're similar to what I just told you, that means he'd be top 10, right?
I'll put him in the top 5 if he's top 15 in every stat in the playoffs. Go ahead.
Hakeem in points right now, 14. Hakeem in rebounds. Hakeem is 13. Hakeem in blocks.
Can we get a screen share of this shit? Because, I mean, you can...
Hakeem in blocks is number 3.
We know he's going to be high in blocks. Hold on a second. Hold on a goddamn second. Can we share the screen? I want to see what you're seeing right now.
You're just making it so difficult, Lowe's.
How is this difficult? Just share your screen. How, like...
All right, hold on. I got you.
Hey, and also, I'll say this. I didn't know about Hakeem's, like, fucking every single stat, top 15 shit. But I would also love to see Shaq shit, bro. I would love to see Shaq. I would love to see Tim Duncan. And I would love to see Wilt and Kareem. I'd love to see these, because these are the other bigs that we compare, you know?
Before we get into that, let's also acknowledge that Hakeem is doing this while playing fewer games than all of those players you just named in the playoffs. But
yeah, we can look at Kareem. Yeah.
Here's points right here. You clicked on it?
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
This is points in the playoffs. There's Hakeem right there, 14.
Hey, you know what's crazy is that number 1 up there.
Again, Los, I'm just trying to make sure you're consistent in what you're saying. You see below Hakeem, Magic Johnson, the same player that tried to explain to you why he should be higher.
Is this points? Is this points?
That's points.
Okay.
Here's blocks. Tim Duncan, Kareem, and Hakeem higher than Shaq. Again, another player I tried to tell you. That's blocks.
Damn. Sent that bitch.
Hakeem is 13th, right there.
You know what? If we were having a Hakeem versus Shaq debate, dude, you know what? You just showed me something I don't know. I didn't know all this shit about Hakeem. And I gotta give Hakeem way more props than I do. And I think what it is when I think of, and it's fucked up because when people talk about their lists, they don't do just talent. They just consider the whole shit. So Hakeem only has 2 rings, and it kind of diminishes his career. But chat, you guys are seeing this shit too, right here in front of you. Look how great Hakeem is, but he's got 2 rings. So who talks about it? Who talks about Hakeem, bro?
And Hakeem is 17th in steals as a big man during the playoff. As a big.
And would you not agree? What if he had as many rings as Kareem, bro? What if he had, like, 1 less than Kareem? You could argue he's better than Kareem. Based off the championships.
I mean, if that's the argument you want to make, sure.
I mean, I think that's the only thing that makes sense because.
So Hakeem, so where would Hakeem be now since you know the number?
Dude. I mean, listen, you've convinced me. I mean, what the fuck?
Say it. I closed it out, man.
No, my shit was fucked up. I would say if Shaq was, where do I have Shaq? I think like 6 or 7. I'd put Hakeem at the 6 or 7 and put Shaq under him. Maybe Hakeem's 5. Wait. Dude, I'm still putting Magic over Hakeem, but I know you might disagree, but I just think when you're able to handle the ball, that adds a level to the game that, like, a center just can't have.
What era did Hakeem play?
What, late 80s, 90s, or early 80s, 90s, what was it?
Is that the same? That's not the same time Jordan played, was it?
It is the same time. What are you getting at, Lo?
Because I could have sworn you said that players back then aren't as good as they are now. I could have sworn.
Hey, Lo, congrats. Hey, congrats. You named Hey, congrats. You named one player, not Jordan's position. Congrats. They never played the finals. Congrats, Lo. Congratulations, bro.
I could have sworn that's what you said.
Never said that. I never said that there's no greats from other eras. But I said overall, this era is better. That's what I said.
What era Shaq played in? He played during the 90s too, right?
No, he mostly played 2000s. He played 90s, played some 90s, but not 90s. You're talking about like some fucking, you know.
I mean, he got drafted. He played since like what 92 or something like that. Like, that's almost the entire 90s.
You just said the early years of careers don't count. Like Jordan, he losing the playoffs. LeBron 7 years. You just said that. Why are we counting Shaq like?
If we're talking about the talent argument, which would also encompass stats argument, we would have to look at their entire careers, bro. And what I see here is that Shaq came in the league in '92. Now, that's the same time? That's not the same time Jordan was playing, was it?
Was that before? Wait, well, how many years? into that.
Was that the
I'm trying to say, was it his third or fourth year in the league when he beat Jordan in the playoffs? I want to know.
Yeah, because that's how Brady was his third year. And in his fourth year, he lost to Jordan.
Wait. Hold on. He lost to Jordan?
Yeah, in 96.
And this is the, there was no injuries, right? Penny was completely healthy, like there's no one.
Penny was out there. I saw the series for myself. Penny was out there getting manhandled by Pippen and Jordan. I saw that.
No one else on the team blew a game. Nothing crazy happened, right? Like nothing happened at all. No context. He just lost.
What I mean, like, are we going to add the context that Jordan came back in the middle of the season, or he just lost in 95? What is it? What are we saying? So what are we saying? What are we saying, Les? What are we saying?
That doesn't count? Jordan coming back means nothing? That doesn't count.
No, but I'm asking.
The GOAT, right? He's the best ever. He can't just play.
What I'm asking you is, I mean, what are we? In '96 they got swept by them. It wasn't even. They didn't win a game.
But what happened?
Penny was there. Shaq was. They lost. I'm not in denial about them losing or not. What I'm saying is,
let me ask you this too,
that means that out of your top 10 talent players, three of them were in that era, correct?
Let me see.
Three of them.
Wait, hold on, let me see. No, because I already just told you, Shaq is a 2000s plus for me era. Because that's when he was fucking started winning, was the late 90s.
We're not talking about winning, Los. We're talking about impact, numbers, stats.
Yes,
We're
talking about that. He got off the Magic, and what happened? He started fucking winning. Just like LeBron got off the fucking bullshit Cavs, and he started winning.
Yeah, but listen, he started winning with LA, and when he was in LA, he first was still playing in the 90s. He was in LA for 97, 98, and 99. That's still the 90s, Los. Now again, Los, I get what you're saying. From 2000 on forward, Shaq was still great. But that also means that Shaq was also still great during the 90s. To the point where he not only beat Jordan, but got to the final. So that means that 3 out of your top 10 players and your talent list was in the 90s, correct? Now, let me ask you just one more question, Los, just one more. How many players in your top 10 talent are in the 2010? I just want you to answer that question.
Most of them are still playing right now. So I can't make a list. I don't know what's gonna happen with KD. I don't know what's gonna happen with Kawhi. God, what's gonna happen with fucking anyone, bro? First of all, if we're going talent-wise,
yeah.
And we're talking about people who didn't win shit. I mean, what about James Harden? He's put up numbers that no one's ever put up.
So is he in your top 10, Los? Are you gonna put James Harden in your top 10 talent?
I'm not putting him there, but hey.
Okay, why would you bring him up?
Hey, you put him in the fucking Jordan era, bro. He'll make any fucking team in that whole fucking NBA, the other Chicago Bulls, bro. You put James Harden in that era.
Los, you didn't answer my question.
What question?
How many players played in the 2010s that was on that list? For the era right now to be so much better, how many players are on that list?
Because you're trying to make a point that I didn't even say. I said overall it's better. Overall it is better.
Okay.
It is better overall. You're talking about Hakeem and Shaq, who are literally freak of nature. They're literally freaks of nature.
LeBron is not a freak of nature?
How many people walk around that look like Shaq? You answer me.
How many people walk around like KD? And he still had to join the Warriors. So what are we talking about, bro? What are we saying?
Okay, you're making my point better for LeBron. What are you talking about?
I'm asking you for an era that was so much better.
Hey, I'm gonna forget this. I'm gonna forget this. Let me just point this out.
Yes,
you were talking about Jordan coming back and whatnot, right? Okay. So tell me why when Jordan retired for the first time.
Okay.
Explain to me, because we can go through lists of other teams where this is the complete opposite, but tell me why, since because Jordan was so dominant and he was carrying everything, whatever. Why the fuck? And you know what I'm gonna ask you? Why did the Bulls barely get affected? I think it was like a 2-win difference from when he retired to the next season when they almost made the finals. I think by 1 game or something. So
Because he was coasting in a regular season in '93.
explain to me why that Chicago Bulls team that had Jordan was not even on the team almost made the finals.
They had to go through a whole nother round, Los.
Okay, a whole nother.
And let me also
What happened to the Cavs when LeBron abandoned them? What happened to the Heat when LeBron abandoned them? What happened to the Cavs the second time when LeBron abandoned them? What happened? What happened?
Can I say this, Los?
Why won't you answer that?
I'm gonna answer that too.
Okay.
If the Cavaliers are healthy in that '95 series, in the '94 series, excuse me, honestly, I don't think the Bulls would have made it out the first round. But
So Jordan never played against injuries? That's fucking horseshit. But
one thing is, I mean, to have a depiction of them making the second round is all of a sudden them almost making the finals is a wild stretch.
oh no, I'm just talking about their record. It was the same record, almost identical.
Yeah, because in '93 Jordan was coasting during the regular season. That's why. The same way that LeBron used to coast and didn't care that much about the regular season, just so he could be prepped for the playoffs. Same thing happened in '93. LeBron, Jordan was on.
That's a good
It's
excuse.
not an excuse. I'll send you articles later on tonight. I'll send you articles later on tonight where they were saying the same thing.
So Jordan didn't play all the games. He didn't play all the games.
He played the games, but he wasn't like same thing LeBron does, where he's not going full force. He's reserving his body for the playoffs. I'll send you articles. Now to answer your question about now to answer your questions about after LeBron left in 2010, yeah, the Cavs are for shit. They were bad. When LeBron left Miami, Chris Bosh got blood clots the next year, and then eventually got it again the year after that, ended his career. So that's a star caliber player that's no longer playing, who also wasn't there.
No, but he played the year.
Yeah. He played half the season. Okay. So he played half of the season.
But so you're saying that Bosh would have made them a fucking like a second round next year? Second, like they would have.
Let me explain.
Go ahead.
He would have, because in the very next season, the Miami Heat made it to the second round. Yes, he would have actually.
I disagree. I disagree. I disagree. Especially with the. But go ahead. I'm not gonna stop your train of thought.
In 2016, not the first year after LeBron left, the very next season, the Miami did the exact same thing that the Bulls did. They went to the second round and pushed the team to 7 games. They did the exact same thing. The biggest difference was that in 2015, not only Chris Bosh played half of the season, D Wade only played 62 games, missed 20 games during the regular season as well. That team wasn't 100% healthy. Now again, those are factors that LeBron also had to deal with when he was there as well.
I was about to bring that up. Those are all
factors.
losses that get brought up against LeBron.
Yeah.
When we somehow forget that no one on the Heat played well in the finals. D Wade was fucking had one knee, and then all of a sudden the next year Bosh wants to be this fucking all-star, but in the playoffs, in the fucking finals, what the fuck is he doing? How is he helping the Heat win? But go ahead, keep going with your train of thought.
And one thing is, after 2015 and 2016, when Wade was healthy, and he played practically a full season, and he went into the playoffs and practically played, he played well as well in the playoffs. The Bulls, the Heat did the same thing that the Bulls did in '95 when Wade was there and were able to play, which was make it to the second round and push the second round team to 7 games. They did the exact same thing.
Okay, so they didn't do the exact same thing, but my point is this. Even if that is all true, Jordan was coasting, whatever, that Bulls team, there's no denying the fact that 1 game away from going to the fucking, what was it, Eastern Conference Finals?
The conference finals.
Yeah, the Eastern Conference Finals. Dude, bro, all I'm saying is that Jordan's impact maybe wasn't as massive as you're saying it is. Because then the next year, they didn't go to the finals. Jordan came back. I mean, if we're going to base it off, Bosh played half the season, they would have for sure did all this. Jordan played half the season, they fucking failed. So
Jordan did play half the season. He played 17 games. It's not half the season.
Bro, he played 17 games. That's like fucking 2 months. That's like 2 months.
Okay, that's a quarter of the season. So what are we saying?
But and then he played the.
That's like quarter of a season.
You're right. No, you're right on that. You're right on that. He played 17 games?
Yeah, 17. So, like I was saying, look,
okay, good.
I understand what you're trying to say, but look, the point that you're trying to make, all I'm trying to say is that apparently there had to be a lot of talent in the 90s because 3 of your top 10 players, talent-wise, played in the 90s. And they played a huge portion of the 90s, actually majority of the 90s. Shaq, Hakeem, and Jordan.
Are any of those the same position as Jordan?
No, but apparently there's no small forwards in the 2010s that was in your top 10 except for LeBron.
I put KD in the top 10.
Also, that's just 2, okay.
And I was debating putting Kawhi.
Not with Hakeem, come on now, but you didn't do it, did you?
Bro, I was debating.
Okay.
And what, is Tim Duncan not LeBron's era?
You're debating me about if Shaq played in the 90s.
Hey,
You have the audacity to put Tim Duncan in
he played him 3 times in the finals. The fuck?
One of them was in the 2000s, Los.
I understand that, but what do you mean? Then that's the same thing. Then you can't say that shit about Shaq.
Come on, Los. We're not gonna act like Tim Duncan's years in the 2010s were the same as his years in 2000s, and it's not even comparable to Shaq years in the 90s. Come on, Los. Look, Los.
No, yeah, I'm not doing that. Hell no. I'm just saying that they played. You're talking about they played an era. Okay, I have LeBron, Duncan, Shaq, KD, potentially Kawhi, and Kobe. That's 6 right there, all in my top 10.
Come on, all right, come on, Los. Come on.
What the fuck? What do you mean? Yeah, count Kobe. He won 2. He won fucking 2 rings and went to the finals 3 times.
In the 2000s.
In the late 2000s. What the fuck are you talking about?
That's not the 2010s,
Bro. And then if we really want to get deep, Curry is arguably top 2 point guards of all time.
Oh, he is.
And-
That's not. Hey, it's not an argument.
Okay. So depending on where you rank guards or centers, bro, that's 7 players that are at least 11, 12.
Well, are you going to put Curry in the top 10 or not, Los? That's all I'm asking. I asked you that from the beginning. Are you going to do it or not?
Are you? I'm asking you, are you?
What?
You alright? I'm gonna make chicken what the hell is that stuff that you like? The white noodles with the chicken in it. Fettuccine. That's what I'm gonna make for dinner.
Are you gonna be the one in the freezer, or are you gonna make it?
No, I'm gonna make it my way. Or I'm gonna make it homemade, I should say.
consistent? Probably. Alright. Damn, I just realized the stream was going on. It's crazy.